ATYL live show on a Wednesday night. It's your favorite crew members. I mean, we all love the ATYL Media crew, but we got the OG, I should say. Dom Joseph, Adam Lucas, and of course myself, Taylor Kitchen, bringing you all the conversation on Wednesdays about all different motorsports series. Of course, we had our NASCAR race at EchoPark Speedway this past weekend, so we'll focus a lot on that. And then, of course, the INDYCAR season is upon us. We're going to bring in Apex Andrea, to talk all about that later in the show. And of course, in a few minutes, we're going to bring on our very special guest. But gentlemen, how are we doing? Good?
Feeling good. Feeling good for a Wednesday.
I was going to say for a Wednesday. Like it feels like it should be like Monday, but next week. Like this is the week. You know what I mean?
Tell you what, I feel especially good, especially with what we saw product-wise racing at Atlanta, aka EchoPark Speedway. Mm-hmm. What a vibe.
It was so good. Dom, same?
100%. Yeah, I think EchoPark has once again given us what we dream of for Daytona, especially the 500 and Talladega. Just unreal racing across all three series. It was not specific to one or the other. All three were really good, and it's good to see the slingshot make its grand return.
My gosh,
to racing. My
so
goodness.
Diabolical and deadly.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah, the racing was so good. I gotta say, I love when there's double headers between Truck and O'Reilly. It's a full day of racing. You know, it's always going to be good, and everything was just so spot on. I mean, we'll talk about it more later, of course, but if you have that win from Kyle Busch with the unlikely help of Carson Hocevar, you have the O'Reilly race where Sheldon Creed, I hear the voice in my head whenever I say Sheldon Creed's name, finally got that win. And then, of course, you had a pretty thrilling cup race where Tyler Reddick goes back to back. I mean, it was a weekend just full of incredible storylines from my perspective.
100%. Yeah, I think you think about, again, it's like one thing to say, oh, well, Kyle Busch won another race, won another truck race, but the way he won it, I mean,
oh yeah,
I couldn't get that pass in turn 3 and 4 out of my head where Ben Rhodes made an incredible move to the outside. Blaney and Logano are going nuts in the booth about it. And then the next corner, it looks like Kyle was the only one still on the gas and got by all of them to take the lead. And then just the way the O'Reilly series race ended, just absolute chaos. And finally the bell tolled for Sheldon Creed. Finally. Denny Hamlin put it perfectly in Actions Detrimental. He's like, he's been on the other side of that so many times. It's finally good for him to get on the other side. So and then of course the way Reddick won that cup race, unreal.
Oh my gosh, it was just perfectly executed, like move after move. And I mean, obviously you're going to have the help of a Toyota teammate, which is great. But I mean, Carson Hocevar was so close yet so far once again. But man, hey, well, we're going to talk about that more later, because I know we've got opinions. I saw the face, Dom. We definitely have some opinions, of course, from some bold moves by some drivers during these races, but it's also, entertainment value. We love to see it, and it's, you're fighting for your first win. You never know. But in the process of talking about this weekend's O'Reilly race, the truck race, it's time to bring in our special guest. This driver races part-time in trucks, part-time in O'Reilly, just coming off of a start with Young's Motorsport in the O'Reilly series this past weekend at Atlanta or EchoPark. And I'm very curious to hear his perspective there, but we're going to get to know Nick Leitz a little bit more. So let's bring him in. Ooh, hold up.
Adam. There he
is. What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, appreciate you joining the show. I know we think about just like, I've seen your career throughout the past few years, starting in trucks, starting in O'Reilly. I know Adam, you had seen about some of his background with like even just like the gaming world, right, Adam?
Just a little bit, yeah. It's really intriguing. To be able to like be in the NASCAR 25 game, that's insane. It's wild.
Yeah, it's still a shock to me too.
So do you ever just find yourself like, hey, let me race against myself on that, or do you always go for yourself?
Oh yeah, I try to always kind of pick myself, and when I don't, I try to race myself as well.
Nice. So
No.
let's go ahead and start with so sim racing. Like, is it crazy just to think that this could lead to something potentially full time in the future, or is this just like sheer luck? What do you tell us? We want to know.
Right. With the iRacing stuff. You were
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The goal obviously is ultimately to go full-time racing. I did start out iRacing with my buddies, and I'm still doing it, today. Um, just kind of having fun and preparing myself for when I'm also not racing. I think it's a good tool, honestly, to like keep me in the rhythm of getting to know the tracks and just finding out your line and stuff as well.
Nice.
Before I get to my question about racing with Tricon Garage, sticking on the iRacing, I mean, there are so many people that have advocated for it, but like honestly, because you were just at EchoPark Speedway, how accurate is practicing the sim at EchoPark to the real deal?
Well, I know the track is definitely aged now, but when it was repaved, I think it's kind of similar. They simulate the bumps pretty well. The only thing you don't really get to feel is the motion of the car, so you don't know how that's like honestly going to handle when you go into the corner and the G forces, all those kind of things. But iRacing does a great job of reminiscing the track and just simulating everything that it can, close to being the real thing. I did try. I did this thing with TRD at before my Daytona start with Tricon, and I tried out their simulator for the first time, and I was like, okay, this is it's much more different than iRacing ever was. So that was another cool experience as well.
So with Tricon, I mean, what was that like for you I mean, first of all, being in a truck in the Craftsman Truck Series, that's an amazing accomplishment on its own, but you're racing for the defending champions. So
Right.
This is a big deal. Tell us about that experience.
It's yeah, I'm still pinching myself for that. They are a great organization. They taught me a lot beforehand, and I was like, it's just Daytona. You don't really need to do much to just mash the gas and turn left. But no, it's much more than that. What they put into it before the week of the race it's just so much different than what I'm used to driving those trucks as well. I mean, like the prep, the just everything they do it's kind of hard to put in words. Really, it's a great organization for sure.
Awesome.
I mean, and to come home with an 11th place, like at Daytona for Tricon, I mean, how did that feel getting out of the truck and being like, oh my gosh, like top 15, let's go.
Yeah, no, even racing at Daytona is pretty cool. I've always wanted to race at Daytona. Really, it was like it all started out in 2021. I was like, even if it's an ARCA car, I just want to race at Daytona. And I thought I was going to fall through because Carson was in the 42. I was originally supposed to run the 42 O'Reilly car for Young's at Daytona, but Carson, he got in the sponsorship. So when the 5 opened up, we took it, and yeah, racing at Daytona is something different for sure. And yeah, 11th place finish as well is something to be proud of. Even leading laps there was pretty cool too. It was kind of scary, but it was pretty cool as well.
I can imagine, like, from where you started your truck career, it was with Rayum at Nashville, and then going to a track like Atlanta, like Daytona, and you said like the nerves that come with that. How do you work on when you're in the truck or in an O'Reilly car, like calming those nerves when you are leading the pack at a track as treacherous as Daytona?
Yeah, I got this Whoop watch. It tells me my heart rate for when I am racing and stuff, and my max heart rate when those situations are pretty high. It's concerning even sometimes, but no, really just keeping myself calm before restarting and just kind of running it through my head as well of what's going to happen, and just kind of ground myself really of not getting too ahead of myself and causing a big mess out of it.
Now, you talk about your heart rate going high. Your car after the EchoPark race, there was lots of damage there. Like, how were you able to finish the race with that car? Again, like a top 20, that was impressive too, just to have the car there, right?
Oh yeah. Recently our finishes have been pretty good. I wanted to say, knock on wood, since Talladega of last year. But yeah, getting in that big wreck there at the end kind of ruined our chances at a better finish, I could say. I think we were kind of better than that, even though our qualifying wasn't so good. But we raced pretty good, and yeah, to bring that car home with a little bit of scratches on it was not too bad. But yeah, I mean, it's part of that racing, you know, the wrecking of that nature. So yeah.
And I can't imagine too. I mean, going from Tricon the week before to then working with Youngs the week after. I know you have a history with Youngs, even just racing with them in trucks. But is that difficult for you to be setting up 2 different races with 2 different teams and 2 different series?
Right. No, it's it was you know, supposedly we were supposed to run Daytona first for Youngs, but that fell through, and then they were like, we can do Atlanta, so we were like, okay. But when the Tricon thing came together, you know, it kind of made it a little difficult to do it the back to back with a different series as well.
Mhm.
So, one thing I want to ask, you talk about the nerves and whatnot. There's a lot of drivers that say, man, you have the butterflies when you're walking through intros, you hear the national anthem, but
Yeah.
when you finally get in the car, you start the engine, you're in your zone. Is that same for you? Was it easy? Like once the race gets going, is it easy for you to just get into your rhythm?
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, once we start those engines and roll on the pace laps, it's like, okay, none of that stuff before really mattered. I was just all in my head, working myself up for no reason. Once that green flag drops and we're, you know, focused on what's ahead of us, it's just nothing before mattered at all.
Oh, I have an interesting question to follow up to that. So after the race, how do you debrief? Are you very critical of yourself? Are you kind of like, hey, it was a race, it happens, move on to the next one? Or how do you go through your own post race breakdown?
Yeah, I'm definitely hard on myself. I'd say I know I can do better. So when I do finish in those positions, I'm like, okay, what could have been? What could have been different if I chose this lane versus the other lane? I know at Daytona, I was kind of mad because I did have a better truck than an 11th place finishing truck. But it's pretty cool to say that, honestly. I haven't really been in top equipment before. So when I am running with that team and that equipment, I want to perform the best I can out of it. But yeah, we had the competition meetings Monday after the Daytona race, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. It's a real organization of, you know, how they debrief on the situations after a race. Could we change to work on to be better going forward? So yeah, it's just a big learning curve, I'd say, and a whole big team effort as well.
When it comes to Atlanta too, I know you touched on this earlier, but I'm really curious about how the track has changed over time. We talked about that you've raced at Echo Park before in the past, and you said, you know, it's a bumpier, it's rougher, but from your perspective, from the driver's seat, how different is it from like way back in like 2023 to like where it is now from your perspective?
I know during the July races, I think it is when the sun's beating on it, it's a lot more slick than the February race. I know February since it's colder, you can mash it and not worry about handling too much. But yeah, during the summertime, I think it's starting to age to where it is starting to become more worn out to where you got to drive it a little differently and worry about handling more going on through the race.
And would you say that Daytona or Atlanta, like they are your favorite tracks that you've raced at, or is there a different one for you?
I personally like the plate racing. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I really do. I think it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a shot for me to win. You know, anybody can win those races, and I think it makes it more exciting, adrenaline pumping. For the iRacing stuff, I usually choose to run those races on iRacing. It's the plate tracks because just how the adrenaline and, you know, the heart pounding situations it is. And you know, just how kind of easy it is for anybody to win that race.
Now, are you part of an iRacing league? Like, do you compete like on a weekly basis in iRacing, or what does that look like for you like these days?
I'm not. I'm looking for one. So if there's anybody out there that wants to do it, I know my friends would be would be fun of that. But we do like Friday night iRacing a bunch. Me and my buddies just hop online for Friday nights and find a bunch of hosted races and go in those and mess around sometimes.
I was gonna say, Dom, you're in iRacing as well. Do that pretty often. Maybe
Yeah.
Nick and you need to get in a lobby. Maybe.
I mean, I enter races that I can compete in. I'm not trying to get lapped out there. Yeah,
I would say I am pretty competitive. I do get pretty mad sometimes to where my friends are like, "Okay, Nick, you need to calm down. It's just iRacing." No, I need to win every race.
It just changes you as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have connections with Goat Locker Racing.
We
There's
do.
a league.
There's a league.
This is true.
Down. We could do it.
So I will ask this question because you talk about hanging out with your friends on iRacing and whatnot. What are some things that you do away from the racetrack? Because I mean, you are just up and coming in this sport and looks like you're going to be around for a while, but not a lot of people know your name yet. Not a lot of people know your background. So what are some things that you do outside of the racetrack?
Right now I'm at the office that my dad owns the surveying company that sponsors me, Precision Measurements. So I'm right here, and when I'm not racing, I am working full time in land surveying. So that's what I do when I'm not racing. Hopefully we can make racing my full-time job, because right now in the winter time, it is not fun being outside land surveying. I'll tell you that.
Oh, God. I can't imagine. It was, how many weeks ago was like the really bad snowstorm? Was this like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Was that like a nightmare for you guys over there?
I mean, it wasn't too bad. I think it melted all like within the week or so, but it still sucks going outside every morning in that freezing temperatures working.
But like thinking about that, like doing that every single day, that has to make showing up to the track so much sweeter.
Oh yeah. I definitely don't take it for granted. I even like when people come up to me and ask for an autograph or a photo, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool, because I still see myself as that race fan going up to drivers and doing the same thing. So I definitely don't take it for granted, for sure.
Well, I think that the easy follow-up to that is, did you have a favorite driver growing up, and who was it?
Yeah, Jeff Gordon.
On
I'd say Jeff Gordon was my favorite. Never get to see him win. What was that? Oh yeah, the Jeff Gordon stuff. I only got to see him win once, and it was his last win at Martinsville. So that was pretty cool.
That's a good one to be at, I would say.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, some history there.
Yeah, oh yeah, right. And it was funny because Tab Boyd was my spotter at Daytona, so it's weird to hear that spotter in my ear when
Oh my
what
gosh.
happened to Joey Logano at that race as well.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I saw the shirt on as I said that. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's all good. I've gotten over it. Trust me.
But it's got to be so surreal, though, to, I mean, have been like a fan in the stands, seeing the races, and now like being on these same tracks that like these drivers that you grew up loving watch. And I know, I think I had another interview that you had done that I listened to, and you said how you got into NASCAR. Obviously, you have a family that's been in racing, but you also watched, was it the 2005 championship is what I heard? And like, that's where you were like, yeah.
We just moved into my new house that I'm currently living at still. My parents were watching the last race of the 2005 season. It was at Homestead. I was like, okay, that looks pretty cool, because I was always in the Hot Wheels and stuff growing up. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, that looks pretty cool. That I want to be, into that, whatever it is. So I watched the 2006 Daytona 500, and from there, my parents bought me a NASCAR video game. And I had the steering wheel and the pedals, and I would hook it up to my PlayStation and just play that for hours and hours and hours. And they're like, okay, maybe we should put you in a go-kart. And I was hesitant at first. I was like, I don't know. But then I said, yeah, and just snowballed from there with go-karts. And now here I am in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series part-time stuff.
That's
so
crazy.
awesome.
That's so awesome. Good for you, man.
I mean, It really is the OG sim to reality type situation.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
with the game, which is cool.
Yeah, that's where I started, was the NASCAR video game, for sure.
And you cut your teeth at Langley Speedway, and just like the importance of all of these short tracks into building your career. I'd love to hear just how instrumental and fundamental racing at Langley was for you, and how important that atmosphere was to cultivate your love of racing today, as well as these opportunities that you've been able to get with like Tricon with Youngs.
Yeah, racing at Langley, I did the go-kart stuff. I wish I did more late model stuff there, because it is such a well-known track and how much attention it gets. I mainly stayed at Dominion Raceway, who's kind of up the road. But yeah, racing at Langley starting out was a great way to meet people and just learn how that racetrack works as well. So.
Was there, you said meet people and learn, was there ever a piece of advice that you had, like whether it was the beginning of your career, even like maybe the past few weeks when you've been at Daytona, when you've been at EchoPark, that has stuck with you, that you've carried throughout, or something that maybe has changed your mindset when you go behind the wheel?
I'm always learning something new, especially with that Tricon deal. It's you're just always quickly learning and adapting. I wouldn't say there wasn't too much learning growing up from the ranks, except just working how you work with people and stuff. But yeah, it's just all still learning how it works out.
100%. Well, for the rest of the season, where can people find you on social media, follow your journey, to see what you have coming up next?
Yeah, I think we do have some more truck races planned. I don't know where yet, but I would definitely like to be back with Tricon. I know they're a great group. They're a championship winning team, so obviously it's great to work with them and better myself. But yeah, you can follow my socials. Twitter, Facebook, or X, sorry, Instagram, whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, just at Nick Leitz on everything.
Fantastic. Well, Nick, it was so lovely to chat with you. Thanks for joining the show.
I appreciate you guys for having me on. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Good luck, bud.
Thanks.
All right, that was Nick Leitz.
Man, talk about like a childhood fantasy coming into real life. That is so cool.
Yeah.
To say like you've raced watching the 2005 championship race, and then it moves to the NASCAR gaming scene, which we all love the NASCAR games, right? It just becomes a reality, and that's always so cool to hear. And then of course the opportunity with Tricon is incredible. Just to be with the organization, see how they work. Definitely, I'm sure learning a lot there. So excited for Nick, and excited to see what the rest of the year looks like for him. But let's transition into talking a little bit more about EchoPark Speedway. And of course, we're going to get into our INDYCAR conversation, because we have to talk about this upcoming race weekend, because also selfishly for me as well, it involves NASCAR in a way of the trucks doubleheader. So we'll get into that, but let's bring in our resident INDYCAR expert, the ever so lovely Apex Andrea. Hello, Andrea.
Hi, that is a very generous title you have bestowed upon me, Taylor, but I'll take it. And I'm excited to talk about that truck race, so don't let it slip by without us getting to talk about it. But hi, everyone. It's race week for INDYCAR. Who's excited?
We made it.
Put all this on just for you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
We've done it,
As
folks.
I'm wearing F1 merch. Sorry.
Hey, it's okay. It's fine.
It's open wheel.
It's fine. Oh my goodness. Well, before we dive into INDYCAR, Andrea, did you watch EchoPark?
Oh boy, did I. I couldn't not, because my co-host of Laps Down, of course, MJ, is obsessed with Atlanta. She's watched it, I think, 1,000 times, and I just have to be part of the fun. I had a great time watching it. Can I say?
Oh, yes.
It's a great
absolutely.
race.
It was. Did you have a favorite race of the weekend? Did you was it Cup? Were you shocked by anything?
Oh, the Cup race was so fun. I will say, I didn't realize it was possible to win 2 drafting tracks in a row. I didn't even consider that to be a thing you could do, because in my time of watching NASCAR, it has kind of just been survival of the fittest to the end of the race through the many crashes that occur. And I didn't think you could survive that twice, but Tyler Reddick did it. So good for him.
Somehow for Tyler Reddick, he's able to win back-to-back. Because what was the stat that Fox had said? It was like the past 10 super speedway races, we have not had repeat winners. which
Yeah.
is insanity. But like Andrea, like you said, it's kind of just like whoever's able to survive. And somehow Tyler Reddick is always in the mix, found his way, brings MJ to victory lane 2 weekends in a row. I mean, that's Adam, that's huge for the sport, right? Like to have Michael Jordan in victory lane.
Massive, worldwide. I mean, it puts us on the map on an international stage. It's fantastic, especially with everything that went on last season. It's quite a story, honestly. Like, you can't script this any better. What would make it even crazier is if like another team that was a part of that like wins this weekend. It'd just be nuts.
That's true. I mean, Circuit of the Americas, it's a road course
a
haven
wild
for
card.
lots of drivers. It's a wild card, though. I mean, you got SVG, you got maybe Connor Zilic, who can make a splash in his rookie year. We don't know. But you also have drivers like a Ross Chastain, who are good at road courses. You have like Christopher Bell, the winner of the race last year. Of course, Tyler Reddick, who's good at road courses. Bubba Wallace is getting better. I mean, these drivers are catching up. I mean, SVG is still kind of the gold standard of what we think about when we have road course racing, right? But I'm very curious.
The Thanos.
He is the
Thanos. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah. It's Andrea, is it SVG versus the field this weekend still? Like, do you feel?
You know, I was thinking about COTA last year, and last year the drivers banded together and took SVG out early. It seemed like a targeted hit a little bit. They were like, he's got to go, like immediately. So we were able to enjoy a Christopher Bell win.
Yes.
I do think there is a little part of me that's like, is it impossible that we have a Tyler Reddick 3 in a row? Like we had a Christopher Bell 3 in a row last year at the beginning of the season. And not that like that meant the rest of his season was like smooth sailing, but it certainly helps when you start your season off that strong. And I think that he would be interested in doing so. It might help him if somebody targeted hits takes out SVG again. That could help his case.
1,000%. I mean, Tyler Reddick was in the hunt for the win last year with Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch. So I mean, it's not impossible. You're right.
Yeah.
Why not?
Tyler Reddick, won back-to-back. Last person to do that was Matt Kenseth in 2009 to start the season. No one's ever opened the year 3 for 3. The only guy that got close was Marvin Panch in 1957. He finished 3rd in the 3rd race of the year. So this would be uncharted territory if Tyler could do this.
So are we all then secretly pulling for Tyler Reddick then to make history? I mean, it's a good story.
It'll go with the slogan. Hell yeah.
It would. Keep a marker of how many times we say that. Hell yeah.
I think the one thing he's got going against him is that he has not repeated at any tracks yet. He's won 10 at 10 different tracks.
This is also very true.
So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's Bubba's time. I think Bubba will win.
Was the last road course that we had last season in the Xfinity race the one where Connor and SVG kind of got at it with each other a little bit?
That was Chicago. And
that was
okay.
Sonoma, they had a battle too.
I can't help but like see that flash before my eyes because Connor's had a rough 2 weeks, and I think he would be very interested in having a good race weekend. And so if he sees a win in front of him, I worry like what does the Trackhouse teammate rules of conduct look like? Because SVG might not play nice now that he's on varsity.
Are there Trackhouse rules?
Trackhouse rules.
Trackhouse.
We'll get a preview on Saturday because they both are in the O'Reilly race.
True.
Oh, I think because it's going to be more fun for both of them, that they'll just go at it. I mean, again, we mentioned Sonoma and that they're just going to try to go for the win. With the Trackhouse drivers, I expect nothing less than them all just going for it. I mean, Ross Chastain just kind of brought that mentality, and everyone else has just kind of followed suit over there. So why not? I mean, that's kind of what I want to see, honestly. Like, let's fight for those wins.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
I definitely.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Sorry. Okay, I was just gonna say I think that SVG should let Connor have it a little bit. I am a Connor fan, but like. I just am like, come on. I mean, like you apparently know ovals now, so like you'll be fine. Like let Connor have this.
Yes, that's
what I was gonna say because I told Buddy this, our resident super SVG fan.
Oh yes.
That
super
fan. He's adapting, and people should be very scared. He was so competitive at EchoPark.
He's good at like it used to be when he got taken out, he was taken out for good. You know what I mean? It was SVG's done for the day. He's good at getting back up again.
Yeah,
like lately he's been rolling through the grass and finding his way back on the lead lap and no worries. And I'm like, that's terrifying, guys. Keep an eye on him.
everyone underestimates him because they're like, oh, he's just a road course racer. I'm like, no, like keep underestimating him and he's gonna like start winning these ovals. Like, be warned. Also, I did want to shout out Aaron Harris, who was Aaron Harris and Chris, who were at the track this past weekend for us at EchoPark. They did a fantastic job getting great interviews, great content. Aaron took great photos. She actually got a video of the moment SVG like slid in the grass on like,
oh yeah,
which was super fun. And she goes, should I post this? And I'm like, yeah, that's like a crazy badass moment. Like, yes. So it's on our socials. So make sure to go find that. But also wanted to give them a shout out for their great work. But before we move on, I did want to ask, I've had a few days to digest my thoughts on Carson Hocevar's aggressive driving, and I don't want to rehash this. But I also think going into Circuit of the Americas, going into a road course race where he's maybe not that strong, I'm curious for you all, thoughts on Carson Hocevar's move specifically to try to go for the win on Sunday. Andrea, I don't know if you have...
So just to make sure I'm talking about the right incident, we're talking about the one where there was not a car-sized hole and he wanted to go in between Christopher Bell and Bubba?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that one.
Yeah.
I will say I giggled because it was so insane. And I think that maybe he had a moment. He thought he could fit in there. He couldn't. I think he was in a tough spot. Nobody would work with him. He was desperate. He could see a win in front of him. I also think he has a mentality of like, I'm going faster. I think you guys should move. I don't think it was handled the best way. But I can't blame him for trying. I would hate to see him not try. I would hate also to be Christopher Bell that suffered the consequences. But I do think I am a Carson Hocevar apologist. I think he makes things interesting. And unfortunately, I'm entertained. And I'm excited to see if he can put something together for his first win soon. I think the longer it goes where he gets his post-race interview where they're like, you were so close and it didn't happen, I think the crazier he'll be. So I think it's best for all of us that we just, he gets one soon.
Yes, I totally agree. I mean, from his perspective, Adam, you were
no, go ahead and finish your perspective because I have a question to pose to the group.
Ooh, okay. Well, I was just going to say from my perspective, if I was in Carson Hocevar's shoes, if I was behind the wheel and I saw what I thought was kind of a gap forming between it was Bubba Wallace and Christopher Bell, like, shit, I would have gone for it. Like, that was my first win. Like, that could have happened right there. I would have made the move. And I'm not going to blame somebody or judge somebody for a move that I would have made. I'm not a race car driver. Can't be. But I would have probably done the same thing. And my only stipulation with Carson Hocevar is as long as he feels I can go to sleep at night, I'm fine, and I'm going to contend for wins for next day. I'm fine not making friends. Okay, like, then I'm good with it. And I do think, Andrea, to your point, like, he's so good for the sport. It's the entertainment. He's so good with the fans on social media. He's unapologetic about his moves on track. And, I mean, I'm here for it. I think it's great. But Adam, your question, maybe it'll make me think and change my mind, but I don't know.
Well, probably not. This is going to have us go backtrack. Who breaks through first in getting a victory on an oval? Hocevar or SVG?
Ooh. Oh, we're all thinking.
I think that SVG has more friends and there's more people that would be willing to put themselves in the way of Carson getting his first win, which is, I think, an unfortunate circumstance that he's found himself in. So he would have to be in a situation, I think, where he doesn't need friends and he's far and away the fastest car and he can get that first win. I think that still will happen before SVG will put all the pieces together. So I think Carson gets one first.
That's a really good point. That's exactly the way I was going to go with it. I think of Las Vegas Motor Speedway's coming up, a race like that where it gets really strung out and he can just walk away from the competition. I think that's the only way Hocevar gets that win, because it takes it out of the field's hands to take it away from him. But SVG, I think, will have a much clearer runway of going down the back straightaway with lap traffic, getting well out of his way, people not fighting that hard to stay on the lead lap. Whereas if it's Hocevar and the second place car is within shouting distance, they're going to race them hard. So that's a really good point.
And I feel like too with SVG, like not that he's newer and can't get an oval race won, like that's not what I'm trying to say. But I also think with Carson Hocevar, like you guys said, if he's able to get away from the pack, that's fine. For SVG though, I feel like you could have an incredible battle with somebody side by side for the win, but they give him room to race respectfully. So it's a toss-up, but I do think I have to agree with you. I think it'd be Carson, because I also think it's either racing respectfully for the win or being okay with doing whatever it takes to win. And that honestly might come quicker than racing respectfully, but I also don't want to promote racing not respectfully. I'm not saying that. I want to put that on the record. Let me be very clear.
Taylor Kitchen says best behavior.
Yes, best behavior. I want racing to be clean, and hopefully the battles this weekend were as good as what it was last year, because that was like some of the most respectful, gutsy racing that we had last season. I thought that was fantastic. It's hard to think,
I think SVG breaks through first, though.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a fine. Hey, Buddy,
I'm fine either way.
Buddy will think the same. Buddy's actually in the chat right now.
Buddy is in the chat. He is.
Yeah, SVG is the greatest in the world. Larson passed him the baton via door slam at Atlanta. That's fair. That's fine.
Yep.
Best in the world.
It's a funny way to get talent.
Woo.
Not that we need it anymore. We just needed the baton.
Well, Ravaging Wolverine brings up a good point as well. We need to see if Spire still has speed on, non-super speedway races. I mean, it's so hard to get a gauge on the
after
season.
Practice and qualifying too.
Right.
Because they were great on Saturday and could not do anything on Sunday. Exactly.
So my thing is, and I've talked about this on the show before, like during our preview show, where Spire Motorsports has an odd assortment of drivers. They're all great, but together it's like this. I want to put like a young gun will do anything for a win Carson Hocevar with like a veteran Michael McDowell, but also you would, because they can learn from each other, right? Or Michael can be a good mentor, and then you throw Daniel Suarez into the mix this year, and I'm like, I kind of like it though. Like they're all so different in how they approach racing that I think they can all learn and grow. And because they each have different styles of racing, they can probably look at data and learn many different things. So at the beginning of the season, and I guess when they announced Daniel Suarez's move, I'm like, this is an odd move, but I'm not mad about it. And then I was like, this is actually kind of genius in my head. So I'm curious.
It's kind of like a buffet of assortment at Spire, because you can either have Americana, you can go Chinese, or you can go sushi. I mean, it's kind of all over the place with these drivers.
We're thinking of the buffet in Charlotte at this point.
I'd
love to go.
we got to hit up that place soon.
We do.
I will say, speaking of Suarez, he's probably very happy right now. I mean, I know we're only 2 weeks into the season. Really doesn't matter at all. We can talk about this maybe post 600, but he's beating all of the Trackhouse cars in points right now. So take the small wins while you have them, because I mean, having to lose your ride to the phenom Zilich probably didn't feel great, and now here he is, 7th in points, better than all the Trackhouse cars. So
I mean, let's look at the points real quick. Just everyone get a refresher here.
About Zane Smith.
Been
talking all that fraud wash nonsense.
So I mean, so happy for Zane to be. I mean, he had I'm gonna say it, and I hate it, and I mentioned this in my episode of Above the Yellow Line on Sunday night, and I called it out there. But he finished 6th at Daytona and then 7th at EchoPark. So do with that information as you will, meme folks. But 5th in points. I just wanted to be specific there. I love the stats. But even like Daniel Suarez, like you said, highest of the Spire group. Well, not highest of the Spire group right now. It's Carson Hocevar. But even just to say like, hey, I'm higher in points, Dom, like you said, than my former teammates right now. I mean, it's interesting to see who's up at the top of points, and then when you look down at the bottom, there's some concerns. But again, we started with 2 like super speedway type tracks. You're not going to get a gauge. Yeah.
Anyways.
I was going to like be like, who are you going to call out here? No, that makes sense.
I mean, the one thing in all seriousness though, too, Noah Gregson, good start to the year. 12th in points. This is a really good, like, for once he can start the year where he's not already so far behind points wise. Like now it's like, okay, hey, we're 12th in points right now. We're in a good spot. So now let's put some good races together. Like, let's get out of COTA having not lost a ton of ground. Like,
Oh yeah.
if we can stay inside the top 15, like willing to sacrifice 3 positions in points, I think that's a really good weekend for the 4 teams. So good start to the year for them. I know obviously things are going to change because there are so many heavy hitters in the back right now, but they've got to be real positive at the front row garage.
Mhm. I will say too, somebody mentioned this in the comments. James says Chase Elliott, one of his better starts of the season. I feel like for Chase Elliott, you typically see him just like totally wrecked out of either one or both of the races. So for him to be able to be third in points, I mean, what the 9 team and even the 5 team are so good at is capitalizing on points and getting those points. Obviously for Kyle Larson, not the case back in 21st. Also hasn't really finished those races, but for Chase, not too bad.
Yep, this new system plays right into their hands. The 9 team is going to be really, really good this year because they're such good points racers.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Man, I was going to have a segue for this, and I can't think of one, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Look at us looking at the points. I love this. It matters again. I'm so happy.
It's so refreshing.
I love it.
Well, because, like, Andrew, I'm curious for you, too, like, because did you look at the points at all last year until, like, maybe the race before the playoffs?
No, I just looked at the little graphic where they would go, these 4 people are really not having a good time and they need to win right now. And I'd go, those are all my favorite drivers. Why? But I didn't ever look. I was just like, I'll believe you guys if you guys say there's like points or something. I'm not.
Andrea, did Pelot win the season opener last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you really were like Kenny Smith in the dunk contest. You saw the first one, like, all right, let's see who's going for second place.
Pretty much.
But he's sneaky.
Let's go home.
Yeah.
No, I never looked at the points in NASCAR. I just would look at the graphics. Go, you guys tell me who's going to the playoffs. I don't even know anymore.
I mean, admittedly, same though, because it's like if somebody could just win their way in each week, it's like, does it matter to even look at the points? Because you're not going to know until like the chaos is done at Daytona in the summer and then you roll into the playoffs. I mean, like you care. I feel like more so at that point because it's like, oh, then this is really their last chance. Anyone can point or win their way in, I should say. Now it's points racing a little bit more, and mostly it is all points racing, and it's so lovely. It's refreshing. It's nice. You know what's refreshing and nice, you guys? Ooh. This is a better segue. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about that.
Ooh,
a rebrand. We love a good rebrand. So NASCAR.shop, where you all love to get your NASCAR trading cards, displays and stuff, is now Card Gorilla. And I would love for you all to check out the new site, the new branding. Dan's put a whole lot of work into getting this all together. It's still the same cards that you know and love, the same stands and everything that you know and love, the same breaks, the live breaks that they do twice a week that you know and love. It is now Card Gorilla. So make sure to keep an eye out on that. Of course, we have a link in the description of our video. If you go to abovetheline.com as well, you'll see some of the card stands on there, some of our featured products, some of the cards that we love as well. And I have some cards too I need to show you all on a live stream at some point. So stay tuned for that. But Card Gorilla, make sure to go check them out. And I appreciate them for partnering with us here at ATYL Media. Another shameless plug too, I guess as well. I want to talk about 4 laps, Andrea, because you all are starting, 4 laps for the show this season. This is your second season of 4 laps, I should say. But what can we expect this year for 4 laps? Shameless plugs.
Yeah, we're gonna give you everything you need to know before the race. We kind of clue you in a little bit of what you might not remember happening at various IndyCar tracks the year before. For some of our new tracks, I'm excited. We'll be kind of previewing you what to expect from the unexpected, talking to you a little bit about the track maps and whatnot. And we'll also kind of talk to you about people to look out for, people that we think are, because Alex Palou cannot win every race. We try to give you a couple names to look out for. And guys,
Absolutely.
He can't. He might have like a sniffle one day and feel a little sick or something. He can't win all of them. Nobody's
cost
perfect.
him 100th. He'll still win.
But yeah, we this first episode that I have all scripted out, it's exciting because we have a lot of folks that are moving to different teams. We have some rookie battles that I think will be exciting to look out for. And also just St. Pete is like such a race that's filled with hope. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's my year. It's such like a exciting time going into especially like St. Pete qualifying, because it really feels like it's anybody's game. So that's what we're talking a little bit about on 4 laps. And me and MJ will be switching back and forth. So if you like MJ more, you can watch her episodes. I understand.
We love you both. Everyone better support them both. Watch all the episodes, get all of your IndyCar news.
Yeah.
And I know you guys will be at some races this year too.
Yeah. We're going to be at Phoenix, which I'm really excited about because it 2 birds, 1 stone, whatever the saying is. We'll see some NASCAR and we'll see some IndyCar, and I'm excited. But yeah, we kind of play it by ear, but we'll see you guys at some tracks. I personally would like to make it out to a street track this year because I realize I've only ever gone to ovals for IndyCar. I'm obsessed with ovals, I guess, and I always find my way to them, but I'm going to try to make it to some street races and stuff this year.
That'd be so cool. I do also have to say, MJ called you out a little bit
Yeah.
in the chat.
Fired shot.
Remember when you said there was no way he could win the Indy 500 because it was an
Okay.
oval, and then he won the Indy 500?
So I remember somebody agreeing with me on that and giggling. You guys remember that too? That was MJ. But yeah, no, I'm excited about St. Pete. I don't know. I think Alex Blow, he won last year, but it was his first time winning. Doesn't mean it's like a given for him. It's a challenging track.
True.
I love the St. Petersburg race. Like
That's so good.
I've really grown an affinity for it, starting to watch IndyCar more and more because I just, man, it's such a fun track. It just flows so well. It's so aggressive and then so technical, and the cars just sound so good there. And I mean, just thinking about like the first thing I think of is McLaughlin versus Grosjean, and like before the wreck, how good that battle was. Thinking about Newgarden winning and then not winning, and then Pato won, and then Team Penske never recovered. But no, it honestly is. It's such a great race.
And I mean, last year we had a wreck right at the beginning last year, and funny enough, that was like our only caution for like most of the beginning of the IndyCar
that's right.
season. And once we just got that wreck out of the way, Nolan Siegel and Will Power had their little moment, and then the rest was like green flag racing, and it was great. There was strategy. It was on the edge of my seat, like seeing how it was going to play out, and I think it's a great opener. I'm excited too to see a second year of the Fox broadcast, because last year you could definitely tell it was their first race with the Fox broadcast. There was times where I was like, I don't need a timing tower. We can just guess. That's fine. They were definitely struggling with like, spotting who was who. There were so many times where they were like, that was so-and-so. And then they were like, nope, wrong. And they were like definitely pulling up their little spotter's guide to figure out, which of the 5 or 6 red cars might have been switching tires. But I'm really excited. I have to admit, though, I know you bring me on here for IndyCar. I'm unfortunately more excited for the truck race in some ways, because it's such a ridiculous lineup. Like, I'm really excited.
I am stoked. I mean, you have some IndyCar names in there. It is the crossover event of all crossover events. There's nothing better than truck racing on a street course. I mean, that's crazy, right? Like, my gosh.
No, Andrea's like, listen, I got tickets to the IMSA race, but I'm just here for the MX-5s.
The whole time I was thinking, like, we got to put some big names in this race, like, because it's such a great opportunity, and they delivered. I think that, like, of course, the Dario with Jimmy Johnson in the pit. I'm like, what's going on there? And then they were like, better yet, I'll also give you James Hinchcliffe just for funsies. And I was like, sold.
So excited about that.
Yeah,
that's gonna be great.
It's great. And it's interesting to see this marriage in a way between like the Fox NASCAR broadcast and the Fox IndyCar broadcast. And I do wonder if NASCAR fans will watch the truck race and then be like, you know what? I might even tune into the IndyCar race that I've never watched before. And I'll be curious to see if the viewership impacted at all from that.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think that's great for IndyCar to have that crossover. NASCAR has such a strong audience, especially with the Fox broadcast, that bringing them over, I think, is a huge win. When it comes to, though, like, where I get curious is it's the first race of the season. You're going to have a lot of people hopefully tune into the first race of the season. Then there might be a drop off. So where I would look data wise, as opposed to like how many views did this first race get, whatever, it's okay. What percentage of people were we able to retain after that?
Yeah.
Was there an increase versus last year? Because maybe trucks, I don't know if they can like do a poll and like say, hey, did you watch this because of trucks or whatever? I don't know. But it is a good point of saying like, can the truck audience somehow convert to open wheeled IndyCar? And it's like two different vibes. But I think the more we do that crossover, the better. And then, like you said, you will be at Phoenix, and it'll be a NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader there too, with like the Cup Series and stuff like that. And I mean, again, you keep crossing these fandoms over, it helps both.
Some of them will stick, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. I mean, it would benefit both sports. You know, I feel like from, I guess, more of you guys from the Formula One perspective, I'm still learning Formula One quite a bit. But I can feel we can get stuck in our series that we race for, and we forget the other motorsport series that live outside of our bubble. I think this helps break the bubble. Some of us are good about it. Adam, I know you're one of them. Some of us, though, are like, I'm only going to watch Formula One. It's the best racing. Everything else sucks. No offense to Formula One fans. But it broadens our horizons a little bit.
Yeah, I think some of it is having to maybe admit you were wrong. There was many a times where I was like, I'm never going to watch NASCAR. And unfortunately, I had a delightful time and I stuck around. But hopefully we can do the same to IndyCar. Do you think, Dom, if you don't mind me asking, are you wearing that shirt because you think Joseph is going to change his luck this season?
I hope so. I am a Newgarden guy. I would love for him to, because it's good for the sport. Like for the way they build last year, I loved the billing going into the year, and unfortunately, fortunate for Ganassi, but unfortunate for like the new fans, we just got straight Palou dominance all the way through. But I want to see Newgarden, Pato challenge Palou all the way through the year. It's good for the sport. I think Newgarden's the guy. Has he won 3 titles or 2? I can't remember, but regardless, he's won titles. He's won Indianapolis. I would love to see him be the guy to challenge Palou. Like, I'm taking the throne back almost. Yeah. One thing I don't want to put you on the spot here, Andrea, but want to ask Well,
I put you on the spot.
Well, what do you think about Malukas with Penske? And then I guess with Power moving to Andretti, I believe this is huge for both teams. But like, where do you see Malukas and Penske landing this year?
I don't expect a stunning race out of David in St. Pete. I don't think that the expectation has ever been for him to like have a stunning race on a street or road course. I definitely think he can struggle on those. I think like a top 10, he would probably be like, that's good for my first race with Penske and a track that maybe I'm not as strong with. I weirdly think by Phoenix being the next race, he does have a lot of pressure on him that is out of the ordinary for IndyCar, because we don't normally have an oval so early in the season, because he is expected, I think, to be able to perform as good and to the level in some ways of Scotty Mack and Joseph at Phoenix. And so I think he'll be okay for the first week, but I think that they're going to take the training wheels off pretty fast. And by week 2, it's going to be like, all right, let's see what you can do.
Sink or swim at that point.
Yeah. And I think I think he's okay. I think he seems ready for it, weirdly. And maybe it's just a good facade he's good at putting up, but he's been really, seeming very comfortable with his position at Penske, taking media questions about it pretty confidently, seems excited. And I don't know if that's just an act, and I guess we'll find out once, they actually start driving, but I hope it's okay. Will Power, on the other hand, I can't get a read. I have no clue. Part of me is driving. Part of me thinks like, does it matter? I mean, it's Will Power. I think he could like just show up and do his best, and that would probably still be entertaining and pretty good. I don't think Andretti had like a stunning season with Colton last year. So the person he's replacing, it wasn't like setting the bar extraordinarily high. I think Kyle Kirkwood has maybe more pressure on his shoulders this year to perform than Will does.
Definitely. 100%. Definitely does.
Yeah. No offense to Colton. Have fun enough too. I'm very excited for you.
Maybe Will Power's veteran leadership maybe will curtail all of Andretti. I mean, that's what I'm
Maybe.
hoping for. Being a resident Will Power fan, like I'm hoping to at least capture a little bit of those glory days of Penske dominance. Just give me like at least one win. Give me some podiums.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be happy with that. But it's going to be hard to get a win if Pelot just, goes off again.
I think he can pull off one win. I think if nothing else, he will be a terrifying sight in the mirrors of David Malukas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yes.
See,
Get your
and I think-
popcorn ready.
I was gonna say, I think those are interesting storylines to think about too, where it's like, oh, like what if they battle against each other? Like that was your old seat, Will. Like, oh man. I also did have a question too, Andrea.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I-
guys,
we have to know everything there is to know about this
We
IndyCar.
missed you, Andrea.
We missed you.
Been too
guys.
long off season.
Now,
Exactly.
as a NASCAR gal, I'm trying to figure out like the field of IndyCar drivers because, like you said, there's a lot of shifts, a lot of changes this year. My question is, would you equate, because this is the vibe I get, would you equate David Malukas to like a Carson Hocevar, or is that not a good comparison?
I would equate. I think a Carson Hocevar and a Christian Rasmussen are more comparable.
Really? Okay.
Lots of people have lots of opinions on their aggressiveness. Lots of people, I think, look at them as the future stars of the sport. But right now they're in teams that are still battling for wins.
Andrea,
I think
remind me what team Rasmussen drives for.
ECR, Ed Carpenter Racing.
Gotcha.
And he
Okay.
had that one win last year that
Yep.
was like
Gateway,
unexpected.
right?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think even that win, people were like having things to say about his aggressiveness and like, oh my God, that guy is crazy. And I think that the way people talk about his driving and Carson's driving is very similar. I don't know if there's a NASCAR comparison to David Malukas, and maybe somebody in the chat can help, because like he does have the young star and the social media stuff nailed down like Carson does.
I will say
But-
for Christian Rasmussen, I don't know where I put it, and it's probably, the diecast is here somewhere. It might be in the closet. I need to bring it out. That's fine. It's in this mess somewhere, but I did get, it's like somewhere, but I did get the diecast that they had last year because I was so in love with that win, because I was like, man,
Yeah.
there's somebody else that can be besides like Kyle Kirkwood or Alex Palou winning a race. And it was just, I don't know. I thought that one was so awesome, and I loved his emotion. And I'm like, you know what? I like this guy. So now I feel like I'm a fan of his. That's cool. Okay.
I think I'm convinced this year too, I want to make you a fan of Renus VK. And I think that I'm going to name him this week in 4 laps as somebody to watch out for. I think that he is going to have a great season. And I think St. Pete, he's going to kick it off with a bang.
Interesting.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
And you'll hear it second on 4 laps.
There it is.
There we go.
I will
That's
say, I know it's St. Pete, but VK is always crazy fast at Indianapolis. Some of the qualifying laps he puts down there are just vicious. So that's a good one to root for.
New team for him too. He'll be at Juncos. Last year he was at Dale Coyne. Very, very dramatic, his exit from Dale Coyne, in the way of, I don't think they wanted to give him up. He's that good.
Mm.
There you go.
Oh, this reminds me. There was a whole thing, and I might have missed it, and this is where I need a refresher. Did they finally announce the final? Was it Dale Coyne driver? Like, did we finally know this? Okay.
Oh my gosh, and it's such a fun one too, Taylor. It's Roman Grosjean.
Oh my God, that's right. Wow, what an interesting pull. Okay.
Yeah, they I think honestly might have just announced it like last week in a very Dale Coyne fashion.
The tracks.
Grosjean and Magnussen back and better than ever.
No, they were definitely like teasing that he was going to be the driver. I don't know if it was like sponsorship issues or something, but they didn't announce it till like last week. But I thought it was an interesting choice. He was the reserve driver for Prema last year, and I still don't know what that meant really, because he didn't reserve drive, but that's fine. I think he used it as a great networking opportunity to find his way back to a seat, and that he did. And no, just an update. I think I saw today, no Prema at St. Pete. There's been a lot of confusion about whether or not they will be there because of financial issues and just not really knowing where they stood as a team. They weren't a chartered team, and they won't be there in St. Pete. Nobody knows what that means fully for the drivers. It's an unfortunate spot for them to be in Callum Milot and Robert Schwartzman, our pole sitter from the Indy 500, out of seat.
Yep.
Yeah, it was confirmed today that Prema will not be making an appearance at St. Pete. But I mean, yeah, that is super unfortunate. And when you have somebody, he was the youngest Indy 500 pole winner? Was that the stat? Or just he was really young to win?
Just that he was a rookie and it was insane and he'd never done an oval before. I was like, what are you doing out there? How did you do that
statement? I mean, that's fair to never have done an oval before and then to do that. Yeah. And now you're like, I don't know what this year looks like for me. Not like one race defines it all, but still, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and Robert Schwartzman left the Formula One reserve driver pipeline to, I don't think it would have ever resulted in an F1 seat. Yeah, and then the Stake F1 team, he did some FP1s for them. Not to think that he would ever get an F1 seat, but he surely put that aside to do this. And now I'm very unsure what his career path looks like. I think Callum Milot is great. And I think that if there ever was to be a seat to open up again in IndyCar anytime soon, somebody would, I think, happily snatch up Callum Milot.
Speaking of Ferrari exiles or Ferrari Academy exiles, what about Mick Schumacher?
That's a great question. I don't think he's going to do anything spectacular the first race. I don't think he's going to do anything spectacular in Phoenix. I think it will be very hard to judge where he is at until after the 500 when we get past that halfway point. I also think he has some challenging rookies. I would keep an eye on Dennis Hauger. I think that would be a good benchmark for him to compare himself to. I think Mick, if he can start to get caught up with Dennis, he would be in a good spot because he also came from that F1 pipeline and did so amazingly last year and won the Indy Next title.
He kicked so much ass last year.
he was the Alex Palou of Indy Next every weekend. I was like, what? No, you can't win all of them. That's mean to the others.
Alex Palou in the chat. Oh,
but gosh. Yeah, hopefully I convince you guys to watch St. Pete. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I'm excited for it. I think a lot of the question I have going into this IndyCar season is, will this be another Alex Palou wipes the floor with the competition type year? Or will it be different? Have people done their homework during the off season? Have people, stepped up or so I'm curious about that. The other big news going into the season as well, that actually came out during the week of Daytona was it Chevy signed
Chevy and Honda.
Yeah, multi-year agreements. And we thought that one of them was not going to sign it.
We thought Honda was leaving.
Yeah, we were just going to have a field full of Chevys. So that's huge too, to know that there's a future with that and there's going to be some development there. And the future is bright.
It also sounds like they'll be getting charters as well, one each for them as engine manufacturers. That it sounds like they'll be tied up with another team. So it'll just be an additional charter for existing teams. I thought originally, I was like, Team Honda and Team Chevy. Woo, that sounds fun. That's not what's happening. Sorry, might be. But I think that's exciting because that's 2 more seats that are available to great drivers. And I think that these will be people that maybe like the engine manufacturers want as their person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like development drivers that they have in their pipelines or something like that they want to give that seat to. And I think that's exciting for the sport.
I think it was because Honda looked at the testing in F1 and realized, oh dear, we've made a grave mistake if we leave IndyCar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is so true. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm so scared for F1.
That's a story for next week.
Yeah, that's next week's story.
I was going to say, we got to talk about
boots.
F1 next week because, whenever there is anything that is just the fans just minorly don't love it, like it just blows up. And I feel like Formula One right now has such negative press around it. And I don't know, can you guys recall a season that's had more negative press?
Good.
Yeah, the car's not the new regulations, the cars. It's
kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised at how open the drivers could be about how much of a bad time they were having. I guess good luck PR training Max Verstappen, but I don't think that F1 would have enjoyed the drivers going to the press after testing and being like, boy, that sucked. I don't think that that's what they were looking for. But I don't know, maybe they're all also like F1 drivers love to complain about stuff and then it turns out fine in the end.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like on Friday at practice, they're like, the car is undrivable and then they're on pole after qualifying. So maybe it's just an exaggeration, but we won't know, I guess, until hopefully all the cars leave the line next weekend.
Yeah. Emphasis on hopefully.
Hopefully.
Make it around on the warm-up lap.
Yeah.
It's going to be so interesting. But at least I feel like there's positivity around the IndyCar season this year. Like,
Yeah,
I feel
we'll be here when people are ready
It's
to
IndyCar, baby.
ditch
Yes.
F1, come to IndyCar.
and then while you're at it, maybe dabble in some NASCAR too. Maybe. Just a
Well,
little bit.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Just
Diversify
little
your
bit.
portfolios like I have.
Yes. Exactly.
Lifelong obsession. 4 wheels and a motor.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Well,
Listen,
speaking
it doesn't have
of,
to just be NASCAR. You can root for Shell and IndyCar too.
this is true. This is true.
Red,
and I
Red
was going
Bull
to
is a
say,
global brand.
on top of it too, I mean, we talk about like 4 wheels, anything with a motor, whatever. I mean, I'm excited for NHRA. I'm not going to lie. I'm so stoked when that comes back. This is a side note. We're all now, Andrea.
Gator Nationals, baby. Let's go.
I encourage you to watch the Gator Nationals.
Okay.
Like so I will say, like, a year ago before we went to the NHRA race, I was like, NHRA, cool. Like, that's a thing that exists, right? I'm now I feel obsessed with it to a little bit of a degree, and Dom and Adam have helped the obsession, but it is crazy. It's crazy.
I definitely think my interest was piqued a little bit at the Ford event because they, made a big emphasis on it there. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll watch another series, guys. But you guys could convince me. That's all I'll say.
I think the best thing would be to start watching it on TV, be like, I guess this is okay, and then actually go and then understand why it's so awesome.
So we're doing an
ATYL
ATYL Media trip to the 4 wides in Charlotte. When is this, April?
April 24th to the 26th. Got it marked on the calendar.
I'll book my flight. Gosh, don't twist my arm.
It is such a good time. Shout out again to the folks at NHRA. They're lovely to work with, and just they do such a good job with the series.
Very good to us.
Yeah, they're very good to us. So
Super awesome.
Well, guys, this has been fun. I feel prepped for IndyCar. I feel prepped for this weekend at Circuit of the Americas. I feel ready for NHRA to start. Fearful of Formula One, but I think we got like a good array of things, you know?
Exactly.
And sooner or later, IMSA will come back.
You know what? And sooner or later, we'll have another IMSA race.
Yeah.
So, wow.
And I love how I can
around the corner.
I love how I can learn about all of it by subscribing to the ATYL Media YouTube channel. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Hey.
No, I'm excited. I love when everybody's shows come back, and I get so excited to watch everybody's stuff because, every race weekend is a celebration around ATYL.
It really is. I mean, we're covering short track, IndyCar, Formula One, NHRA. Like we're doing it all. I will say, as you know, the head of the ship here, it is so lovely to have all the shows back and everyone just like kicking ass and having great content, and the website as well, abovethelowline.com. If you haven't checked it out, we're doing great articles. We're putting our shows on there too, which is your one-stop shop for everything ATYL Media, as well as merchandise. So if you want your hats for this season, rep us at the track. It was so fun. Dom, what was this, last year, 2 years ago? You ran into somebody at the track who had our hat on.
Oh no, there's a listener that wears Above the Yellow Line merch to Kansas every year. I see him every year.
And it's so awesome.
He's the man.
So get your hat.
You guys got to start wearing your merch. And come say hi if you see us.
Yeah, so say hi, check out the website, check out all of our shows because we're covering every single motorsports series and we're doing it in fun and creative ways. But that is it for this ATYL live show on a Wednesday night. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, thank you, Andrea, for being a special guest on this show this evening and talking to us all about the IndyCar season. Yeah, we have to find objects now. I've got my NASCAR mug. This is a thing.
Have that
This isn't
Verstappen
an
behind.
object. This is a way of life.
Hey, we love that. But everyone, make sure again to go to abovethelowline.com. Again, thank you so much to Card Gorilla for partnering with us for this half of the season. We appreciate it. Make sure to get all your trading cards at cardgorilla.com. Again, that's Dan, who you know and love from NASCAR.shop, now Card Gorilla. So make sure to check that out there. And we'll chat with you all throughout the week on all of our shows on the ATYL Media channel, on AboveTheLine.com, and of course on social media. But we will check back in again after Circuit of the Americas and after St. Pete. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next time, we'll see ya. Bye, everyone.